What's up, everybody? 24. So I wanted to ask what you think about the Chinese triads, the history, and when they come into the story, where they came from. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to leave you without closure on why Denise really called Donovan and asked him if he wanted to go do that job about the three diamonds. I haven't forgotten. So don't you forget, there's going to be closure coming up on that. I ain't going to tell you when, I ain't going to tell you where, but you're going to see how that piece ends. G shit. So, one love to everybody out there right now. My boy Joe Kelly, my boy Gus, you're my dog, homeboy, fist bump all the way. Um, to my favorite friend, Curtis White, who absolutely loves the Thundercats just like I do. To you know what, I got love for all y'all. Point blank, period. Thank you for your love, your support. Thank you for my job. Thank you for your kindness. Thank y'all for being y'all. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, by the way, on my YouTube channel right here, starting next year, if the Lord wills, you will be able to sample book number 2 to this hot, sizzling hot Italian mafia novel like you won't find anywhere else on the entire planet or in the outstretches of this universe. I'm just raising the bar a little bit. One love. Let's get into this. Chapter 24. Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. FBI Special Agents Daryl Talley and Alan Tervino were somewhere else in LA watching Mikhail Raskolova in his low-key garage used as a custom auto detailing warehouse. He restores police units, does car accident repairs, and banks millions in the black market weapons industry right out of this garage. One of his clients is a weapons dealer in Tepito, Mexico City. Both agents watched from their SUV as a truck backed in with a rust-spotted yellow trailer on the back. Another shipment of weapons from Pakistan had just arrived, and they're getting it all. Mikhail's been doing this for years, and we've been investigating him for the last 5, Talley said. Arishta broke out of IK-14 3 years ago, and her daddy not only put her to work, but he bought her that nice home out there in Palo Verdes. The woman's venomous. Venomous, Tally. 12 mafia murders because her daddy said go get rid of them, Tervino replied. Well, there's nobody like daddy's little girl. Both men watched this unravel for what seemed like 2 solid hours. Surveillance footage of Mikhail and 3 other accomplices of Arishta's. A deadly woman named Karina Marchikova. Then there's Alexander Khrushchev and Xander Chikov. Nicholas Mikhailovic was not here because he was working down at Terminal Island. He probably loaded this container onto the truck since Mikhailovic works the crane for all these 2 special agents knew. Arishta would be working at the club tonight. These 3 had to be ready for the meeting with Abdul Rasham in 1 week. Donovan looked at his watch. 8:52 p.m. Arishta had to be on stage by 10 p.m. He had to find something to get to Donald Shields. Someone on the inside had to know the combination to that safe. The master bedroom door opened and Arishta came downstairs in the same outfit she had on 6 hours ago with her gym bag in hand. And the look in her eyes meant it's time to go. Donovan followed her out to the garage where the bike lay sleeping until it's awakened again. This time, it was the Escalade on chrome Asante 26s with the chrome custom-made Asante grill. Donovan held the passenger door open for his assignment, then hurried to the driver's side door with excitement and got in. This ride is so hot, by the way, Donovan said, looking at Arishta. It's you. You look like a drug dealer with that diamond grill in your mouth, Arishta replied, then laughed, knowing she was catching feelings for the security guard. Oh, how little she knew about her driver. Donovan turned the engine on and the beast roared like a lion with that supercharger under the hood. He could hear the work and the money Arishta put into this ride. Arishta hit the button on the ceiling to open the garage door, and Donovan drove. The Cadillac pulled out of the Raskolova garage and sped off toward downtown with To Live and Die in L.A. by Tupac on the system. Donovan looked around at the scene as he passed the place they just left hours ago, just across the water. He never imagined he would be undercover for the Mafia at 17 years old. Did Del Toro Michio, the boss of the Gambino family, even know what Donovan was doing right now? Riding around Los Angeles like a young boss with the woman he is supposed to deliver over to Del Toro Michio to whatever he's going to do to her? It can't be good. Lovato glanced over at Rishta, one hand on the wheel, driving like a G. Iced out Rolex, iced out grill in his mouth, all of it real, packing 2 pistols inside holsters under his arms. She glanced at him like red-haired Taryn Manning in Hustle and Flow, that look in her eyes. The Escalade pulled up roaring into the lane under the cement canopy at the front entrance. There were vehicles in the parking lot, people going in. Toomba was doing security at the door, and Donovan was parked out front with Here Comes the Rain Again by Eurythmics pulsing through the system with the amp on. It sounded so loud and so good. The bass was pumping this 80s jam. Donovan didn't give a fuck. He got out of the SUV and let Arishta out right there in front of Tumba. He is Arishta's personal security, and he's going to be working in the club tonight as floor security. How the fuck does it happen? What's good, Tumba? Donovan said, closing the door and waving 2 fingers at Tumba with a gleaming smile. Donovan came inside the club under the role of Vincent Martellino, Yugoslavian black market arms hustler. 3-year ex-con fresh out of a Yugoslavian prison, personal bodyguard of Arishka Raskolova to the next part of the job. Strip club floor security. There were about 300 or more women in this massive strip brothel, women in the skimpiest and naughtiest lingerie they could wear. At least 100 or 200 men were here enjoying their night as Donovan was approached by 2 bouncers. You're working with us tonight. I'm Sully. This is Dix. What's up, guys? Donovan said, shaking hands with Dexter. I'm Vincent Martellino. Call me Vince. You work out? You're a pretty cut up brother, Dexter asked, looking at the size and definition of this young kid. I'm really heavy into MMA training, but I lift weights and train in Wing Chun Fu, Donovan said, seeing these 2 guys checking out his jewelry and his outer demeanor. Well then, we shouldn't have any problems here, Dexter replied. Just be on the lookout for the girls. Anything suspicious, just radio one of us if you can't handle it. Just let us know what's going on, Sully said in a thick Russian accent. Donovan nodded in understanding, and both bouncers watched the new guy walk off. They know he is Arishta's personal security hired by Mikhail, which obviously isn't true. Mikhail has no idea about this person on the scene. Enrico thinks Mikhail flew this guy in to add security to his daughter. This could be bad. There were women on the poles, in the VIP area, and in the private rooms. The black lights flashing and the laser beaming in sync to the music. This place was so hot. There were the absolute hottest women in the world right here in this club, as if it were Solomon's palace. Thongs, Y-back G-strings, micro thongs, sex, money, drugs. It was all here. There were 20s and 10s on the stage as Donovan passed by a girl in nothing but white knee-high stiletto heel boots. She was upside down and doing a split as she held the pole and entertained 4 men. She was probably Puerto Rican. There were 8 poles in this club, and there was women on every one. The bars and lounges were occupied, and girls everywhere you turned, serving drinks, serving conversation, or in a back private room serving pussy if the money's right. Arista was back in the dressing room getting ready, but a job is a job. Donovan waltzed right on in the dressing room for all the ladies working tonight. A big locker, shower, makeup room for the ladies to get ready, and then there were cat calls of what the fuck as he closed the door behind him. Get the fuck out, one of the girls said, looking at this baller that just walked in. I'm sorry, ladies, Donovan said, holding up 2 hands. I'm Vince, and I'm just here for Arista. Well, Pretty Poison's back there, another girl said, pointing to a dressing room down the hall. Arista was naked in her dressing room, getting ready for her segment on the pole in 5 minutes. She was brushing her hair when there was a knock on the door. Who is it? Arista asked. Arista looked at the door. Why is he even in the dressing room? She got up and opened the door. In an opened, scarlet red silk robe that went no lower than the crotch of her pink thong, Donovan could see the inner curves of Arista's breasts. They were large, but just the right size from what he could see. Her exposed abs, the diamond jewelry in her navel, but the rest was a peach tan complexion. Do you need something? Arista asked with the please come fuck me look on her face. Just checking on you. I'm your bodyguard, Donovan said, then began to turn away and then stopped. What if I did need something? Such as? Donovan watched Arista teasingly close the door, and he headed back out to the main floor. Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard was playing as Donovan made his way toward one of the bars for a drink. All night he had been scoping out all these women to find one who knew more than she's supposed to. What can I get you, gorgeous? A female bartender asked. I work here, Donovan replied, checking this girl out in her white bra and thong, then seeing her deep green eyes and her gorgeous smile. So you're the new bouncer, huh? I'm Vince Martellino. Serene, nice to meet you, hon. So again, what can I get you, gorgeous? An Incredible Hulk, please. Donovan checked Serene out. White Y-back thong, white Nikes because she's working behind the bar, brunette hair and hundreds of long, thin braids, a fat ass for a white girl. The DJ interrupted the night with an announcement that Pretty Poison was doing a segment for all the ballers to get their money ready. Then She's Got the Look by Roxette came on, and the strobe lights began to flash as Arista Raskalova came from behind the curtain like Demi Moore in striptease. There were men getting up and throwing Arista money as she twisted and turned on the pole. Then she slid down and turned, smoothly dropping into a split, then rose up and began to twerk her ass up and down, stirring up the crowd. Arista rolled over onto her back and opened her legs wide, looking out at the crowd as she touched her breasts, then rolled over onto her stomach, pushed herself into a handstand and grabbed the pole with her legs. Here you go, hon, Serene said, handing Vince his drink. I also help Rico in his office, secretary type stuff when he's not around. Donovan found her, an inside accomplice. Donovan returned his focus to Arista over there on the pole with money all over the floor. She could really move on that pole. She bent down to pick up the money as the crowd howled and whistled in approval of her performance. Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. Donovan was asleep in a guest room in Arishta's home. Last night at the club was just the first night on the job. Day 2. The house was quiet as Donovan looked around for Arishta. He found her out by the pool, nude, sunbathing on a pink towel with her UV shades on. Arishta enjoyed her freedom from prison. Being able to suntan by her pool with nothing but a black G-string bikini bottom on was a luxury to her. She saw Vincent coming out of the house, coming toward her. She rubbed some lotion on her abs as her bodyguard stopped in front of her. "Good morning, Arishta," Donovan said, and she raised her shades. "Good morning to you as well, Mr. Martellino. Care for a swim?" Arishta replied in her thick Russian accent. "No, I'm gonna make some breakfast, and then what? We can go shopping down on Rodeo Drive. I will show you around." "Sounds like a plan. You hungry?" Donovan asked and headed to the kitchen. The two of them had a wonderful breakfast of chicken, roast beef, cheese and egg quesadillas, and fresh hot garlic bread, and a view of the San Pedro Bay and everything south that the eyes could see. Donovan was really beginning to grow feelings for Arishta the more they talked and shared each other's lives. Arishta grew up in a Russian girls' boarding school until she turned 16 and learned about her dad's life as a Russian mafia boss. She ran away and began a life of cold-blooded murder at her father's word. Vincent grew up in Yugoslavia and took an interest in magic at a young age. Donovan really did learn and master illusions like the greatest, David Blaine. "Show me a trick. Now," Arishta said as Vincent drove the Escalade toward Hollywood. "Okay. Give me your driver's license," Donovan said. "Why?" "Just give me your driver's license," Donovan said, and Arishta dug it from her pocketbook. "Watch, because you're about to lose this." Donovan lowered the window, threw the license out as he sped north, or so she thought. "Are you fucking kidding me?" Arishta asked and grabbed Vincent by the shirt angrily. "You just threw my fucking license out the window. Stop the car now." "No, I didn't," Donovan replied as he drove, not even looking at Arishta. Arishta went in her Louis Vuitton bag, pulled out a badass-looking chrome TT-33 Tokarev, and aimed it at Vincent's head. "Last time. Go get my fucking license," Arishta said, moving her finger on the trigger. "I will fucking kill you. You will be number 13. It's in your bra." "What?" Arishta said, looking at this man that isn't even looking at her. Arishta lowered the gun and looked down as she touched her breasts. She felt something in her right cup, plastic pressing against the warm flesh. She looked up at Vincent and her mouth was wide open as she reached down into her tank top and retrieved her license. "You asked for a trick," Donovan said. "I would have killed you," Arishta said in a serious tone. "Nah, you love me," Donovan said and smiled at Arishta. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, your love, and for most of all, being real. One love, I'm out.